we're going to reconvene, and we'll go to Senator Hickenlooper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Ms. Haugen, for your direct answers and for being willing to come out and, provide such clarity on so many of these issues. Obviously, Facebook can manipulate its algorithms to attract users. And I guess my question would be, do you feel, in your humble opinion, that simply maximizing profits, no matter the societal impact, that is justified? And I think the question then would be, that's the short question, which I think I know the answer. What impact to Facebook's bottom line would it have if the algorithm was changed to promote safety and to, instead of, change to save the lives of young women rather than putting them at risk?
I'm learning about the talk button. Facebook today has a profit, makes approximately $40 billion a year in profit. A lot of the changes that I'm talking about are not going to make Facebook an unprofitable company. It just won't be a ludicrously profitable company like it is today. Engagement-based ranking, which causes those amplification problems that leads young women from innocuous topics like healthy recipes to anorexia content. If it were removed, people would consume less content on Facebook, but Facebook would still be profitable. And so I encourage oversight and public scrutiny into how these algorithms work and the consequences of them.
Right. Well, and I appreciate that. I'm a former small business owner. I owned started a brew pub back in 1988, and really was always, we worked very hard to look. Again, we weren't doing investigations, but we were very sensitive to whether someone had had too much to drink, whether we had a frequent customer who was frequently putting himself at risk and others. Obviously, I think the Facebook business model puts, well, it poses risk to youth and to teens. You compared it to cigarette companies, which I thought was rightfully so. If this, I guess the question is this level of risk appropriate? Or is there a level of risk that would be appropriate?
I think there is an opportunity to reframe some of these oversight actions. So when we think of them as these trade-offs of like it's either profitability or safety, I think that's a false choice. And then in reality, the thing I'm asking for is a move from short-termism, which is what Facebook is run under today, right, is being led by metrics and not led by people. And that with appropriate oversight and some of these constraints, it's possible that Facebook could actually be a much more profitable company 5 or 10 years down the road because it wasn't as toxic, not as many people quit it. But that's one of those counterfactuals that we can't actually test. So regulation might actually make Facebook more profitable over the long term.
Right, that's often the case. I think the same could be said for automobiles and go down the list of all those things. Yeah. That there's so much pushback in the beginning. I also thought that the question of how do we assess the impact to their bottom line. We had a representative of Facebook in here recently who talked about that 8 out of 10 Facebook users feel their life is better and that their job is to get to 10 out of 10. Maybe this is the 20% that they're missing. I don't know how large the demographic is of people that are caught back up into this circuitous sense of really taking them down into the wrong direction. How many people that is? Do you have any idea?
That quote last week was really shocking to me because I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the case of cigarettes, only about 10% of people who smoke ever get lung cancer, right? So the idea that 20% of your users could be facing serious mental health issues and that's not a problem is shocking. I also want to emphasize for people that eating disorders are serious, right? There are going to be women walking around this planet in 60 years with brittle bones because of choices that Facebook made around emphasizing profit today. Or there are going to be women when they're in 20 years who want to have babies who can't because they're infertile as a result of eating disorders today. They're serious. And I think there's an opportunity here for having public oversight and public involvement, especially in matters that impact children.
Great. Well, thank you for being so direct on this and for stepping forward. I yield back the floor, Chair.